So, welcome to What's the P, a show that provides a platform for gay black men to express their perspectives on topics, issues, and concerns of the world around us and how it actually impacts our community. I'm Curtis Russello.
I'm Justin Lamar.
And this is What's the P. Today, joining us on the topic of depression and suicide in the gay black community, we have Trey, Les, and Ivory. Welcome, you guys, and thank you for joining us today. Today's topic of discussion is depression and suicide in the black gay community. Men are killing themselves at a rate 4 times higher than women. Depression starts in the gay community in adolescence and carries over into adulthood. Black, gay, and bisexual men were found to be twice as likely depressed and 5 times more likely to have attempted suicide versus their white counterparts. In fact, 31% of black men met the definition of depression, and 10% had already attempted suicide last year, far higher than 3% of white men. Let's discuss the possible triggers that contribute to these situations. Even if you haven't dealt with it yourself or if you know somebody, do you think that being black and gay was a contributing factor of part of your depression at all?
I feel like it definitely has in my life. I've been depressed for other reasons, but the first time that I was depressed in high school, I know it definitely was because I was feeling like I was weird.
The only one. Or different.
I felt really weird. Like all my friends were dating guys or girls, and I just wasn't interested. And then that's what they did on the weekends. So we would all meet up somewhere, and then they would sneak off and go with their boyfriends and girlfriends. And I thought we were coming to have fun. So I thought something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
I completely identify with that. All the way up until I didn't have sex with anyone until I was 27. Yeah. And I've never been with a woman, period. And and people think this is weird, but I didn't think about sex or anything when I was in high school and part of college. I was just busy. And then when people would do that, I'd be sitting there just
like, I didn't know we were leaving the movies and going our
it made me feel weird. Like I felt like,
what's wrong with me? Why am I getting that feeling?
And I seek out help for the depression, and if it did, why?
It took me forever. I didn't even want to go because I swear, like, everybody in my family besides one person would always judge and say, "We black, we don't do that. We just talk it out. You pray about it." And I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I said it. I've been praying, and it feel like nobody's answered. But all along, God was telling me that He put these people here to help us. So He put it in place. I went to get help, and for about the last 2 months of my life, it's been better than the last 5 years of my life.
Is it because you're talking to somebody, or is it because I don't know?
The medication makes you feel good, but the talking makes you feel even better.
Because you're getting off your chest.
They're not going to judge you, and they're not going to tell anybody what you say unless you tell them. And you can say anything you want to this person, and it's like talking to a wall, but it's somebody who's listening, sounding good.
I tell you, it took me a while to talk. I sat through 2 sessions and didn't talk.
What?
And I don't know. I wanted to talk.
It didn't happen.
But I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel safe.
So I got a question for you. What made you not want to talk? Even if you know that these persons...
You need to say something.
Yeah. What made you not, like, for 2 sessions? Like, were you just...
Yeah,
was that an inner battle?
I came in, I just started crying. Like, it was just... And the lady she just sat there. Like, and it was weird because it wasn't even the psychologist. It was her
assistant.
Mm-hmm. And so she sat in there with me for a while and just let me talk. I was like, I felt stupid. But I don't know. It just like came out. And I think too, I was taking my medication. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to take the medication because I was just like, I don't want to be on drugs. Mm-hmm. I have a fear about drugs. And they were like, she just was like, how long have you been battling this? And I was like, oh, for this amount of time. And then she was like, and you've been doing everything that
complying.
And it still hasn't changed, it's getting worse. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, so you're going to continue to do that? And she was like, or you're going to take something that's going to. And so I started taking it.
What about you?
You gave that,
Yeah, I did.
What about you, sir?
Well, I didn't take long for me to get help. For me to get help, like at first, like I think everybody said you should pray, but when I let them know, like that's not like I need to talk to somebody. We got help instantly because we've had people in our family that have dealt with like schizophrenia and depression, and
So
it got
it
to
took
like
it
a very
serious.
serious thing. So
And that could be hereditary sometimes too.
I think
No, it is because my dad has it, but his aunt has it too.
Yeah.
And my brother, he deals with bipolar depression.
It all rolls.
They all, it's in check.
Talking to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was out of check. It wasn't in check for years. Like, I was just spiraling and I didn't even know it. Till it was too late. Yeah. Because grief ate me up. Like,
So many people-
thinking about it. I had lost somebody who had been in my life for over 20 years. We had been like thick as thieves.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to go from, I'm going to call him every morning we talking to one day he wasn't there. And I didn't know how to, I still don't know how to deal with it because sometimes I wake up and it's so weird. You just look at the phone and you want to click and dial. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
But the medicine does help. You just got to learn how to use the medicine for what it is instead of abusing it.
You have to adjust your life around it.
I personally started making I don't have somebody that I can just talk to all the time. And I really, which is bad, I don't make time to go to the doctor's office all the time. I'm always working. I always have this weird
12-hour days, baby.
Yeah, I'm always working. So what I have done was I'll sit down when I start feeling bad and I make a video talking about what's going on with me. And I kind of feel like, I don't even kind of feel, after I'm done with the video, I feel good. I feel like it's off my, I'm not.
Because you spoke it, you verbalized
And you know what else people say is good, like therapy, when you write it out. People have
Yeah,
journals. They say when they write it out, they say, "Oh, it's
I
off
thought
my
too
chest."
much to write all that.
I'm a journal. I keep
That's why I do the video.
Yeah.
Because that video, I think it's going to be like 10 minutes. And
That's a long time.
That's a long ride. Talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Talking to yourself.
You're doing the same thing that a therapist gonna do through the internet.
Yeah. I kind of feel, and I have been fortunate enough that one of my mutual friends, their family member is a psychologist, and a couple of times without a charge, I was actually able to just call her, and she was able to talk to me.
So what measures did you take to keep your depression in check?
And being on medication, I would always talk to my grandmother. And so that's whenever I fell into a big depression because my grandmother, my dad, and my grandfather all passed away within 6 months.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I had nobody to talk to. I felt like that. And since then, me and my sister have become really, really close. So that's who I talk to a lot more. And it's opened me to open other relationships up in my family. And so you never realize how many other people felt like this in your family until you get the conversation started.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And that was always very scary for me, like confiding in someone, because what if that person leaves?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The leave.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even think about it. I always thought my grandma was gonna be. I thought, I really did. It makes no sense because everybody has to die.
But it's how we think.
Yeah. And so,
Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper. Have you ever had thoughts of anybody? Ever had thoughts about suicide? Or know anybody was about to attempt suicide?
One of my friends he's not from Beaumont, he's from a city outside of Beaumont, but he lived in Beaumont for years. One day I received a phone call and everything in Beaumont like 5 minutes apart from each other. So he called me and he was like, I'm just tired of this. But it was the whole gay and black thing. He felt like nobody loved him. He would always tell me that relationships don't last because of things that he would do, so forth and so on. So he tried to kill himself one day. And by the time I got there, I reached out to someone that I know. I don't want to say their name because it's their profession. Yeah, I'm not gonna say his name. And I said, hey, my friend just called me. This is what's going on. And she said, call the crisis line right now and then call 911 because do that. So anyway, I wound up going to his apartment and he tried to kill himself too, but it didn't work. And then, those thoughts that people have through suicidal thoughts, even attempting suicide, it didn't work. So, like now he's doing great things in his life. He talks about it all the time. I'm like, well, hey, that's your testimony. It didn't work. Whatever you're trying to do didn't work for you.
Me, I had a boyfriend, and I had been dating this guy for like almost a year, and we spent like every day together. I come home from work, we're together. But it was things that were triggering his depression, and then the depression got deeper. So what happened was he lost his job. Then his mom brought his brother to live with him, said, hey, I can't take care of him right now, so he now has a child. Then he found out he had HIV. And then he called his mom he told her that she did have HIV, and that sent him over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And my best friend came in town. I was like, well, his best friend was there. I was like, well, I'm going to go home for a day. I was like, Jeremiah's town. I have to wash my clothes, and I'm going to come back. I get a phone call, maybe like not even 5 hours from me being home. It was his best friend. Hey, he's trying to kill himself. He's okay. She was like, I busted in on him. He called me. His pills were lined up. And every time he would take alcohol, take a pill, take alcohol. And she just, how it happened, she was so happy in the car. She was like, he's not answering. It's not him. And then she found him. And so that next night, that night, she was like, I got it. I rushed back. And I was like, what's going on? He was like, all this stuff just keep happening. I don't want to live. It's just I keep finding stuff out, and it's just like no end. He had enough. And he went, even like after we broke up, he still was dealing with it just a little bit. So for me, I think that was like, I had never experienced that. I was just like, it was like a pile up. It's just not one thing for people. It's like one thing after the other. This, and that was, for him, was it.
I haven't had to deal with it personally, but I've had a friend who tried to take his life. It didn't work. He tried 4 or 5 times, but it just wasn't his time. And in the end, he found a way to get through it, but, it's not your time to go. It's not your time to go.
I did it twice. Once we was in college, I had both times was the pills, and I took a whole bottle of Advil. And I did that. I was drinking and taking it, the whole bottle. And I woke up in the morning and nothing happened, so I just went to school. and then the second time was like a year later, and I was talking to my brother, my cousin, my brother. He was in Florida, and I was still. I finished. I just came out, and I was at home, and I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and I took a lot of things. And I was talking to my brother about it while he was in Florida and I was in Phoenix, and I was telling him, and it was really weird because when I was taking it, I was telling him, I was just friendly. And I don't know, like I just woke up and the fire department had kicked in my door. And it was weird because nobody in my family knew where I lived.
In Phoenix.
And
They found you.
they found me.
So you're supposed to be here.
Nobody knew where I lived. I just woke up and there was this guy. It's one of the firefighters, and he was like, hey, you come. And they took me to the hospital, and God, it was horrible.
They just saw a truck home.
Yeah, it was the worst thing ever, but there was still nobody there. And then they were like, gonna put me in this psych area.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't have any friends, I didn't have my phone. I was in my underwear. It was like the most embarrassing thing. And I couldn't answer anything because I didn't know. I didn't even know how somebody found me.
don't know how I knew my mom had. I found out later that my mom had called me. I don't know how they found me, but it just made me go, wow. First, it was embarrassing because you're in this hospital, you're just in underwear, and then one of my friends, it was weird. That lived with me. He found out from the neighbor that the ambulance had came, so he came to the hospital. There were 6 hospitals in Phoenix, and he went to all 6 of them. The first hospital that we were at, they told him that I wasn't there, and then he came back anyways at the end, and he walked past the room and I saw him, and he was like, and he talked the people into letting me go because they weren't going to let me go because they couldn't prove who I was, and there was no family there, and I didn't have any friends, but he got me out. but it was 2 times, and it was both
Unsuccessful.
Black and gay was a contributor to the person that you knew that was that.
Oh, well, for him, for sure. Because he had several failed relationships, and that's what led him into the space that he was in because he felt like nobody loved him.
And I think with my boyfriend, about him trying to convince us, I think it played a big factor. I think he was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm black, I'm gay, cool. But when he started going through depression, all these other factors, that added to the fire. That's like, woof, woof, woof. So
Yeah.
I feel like it was just another thing. Because I know his mom, especially when you probably find out that he was HIV, I think she like ripped into him. Instead of being supportive, she would say, black, being gay.
I definitely know that was a big part of that at that time because I didn't know everybody that I knew that was gay and black was not like a role model. And
Yeah.
and I felt like if I'm gonna be black and gay, this is what I'm gonna be. And people kept saying, "Oh, you're like that person. Oh, you're like that person." They were saying the good qualities, but I just kept associating it with the negative things. And then it was just so lonely being in Phoenix. There's like no black people.
Yeah.
And then being gay in Phoenix was just crazy. And then it's just a whole bunch. It was just a whole bunch. So I just know.
The bit of golden triangle.
Not the golden triangle.
I need to be a robot.
Come on, Bobot. We had fun about
Triangle.
Yeah.
What about you? My person, it wasn't due to being black and gay. It was just loneliness and just grief.
Okay, so let's jump to the next question. What measures do you keep from happening in suicide? So attempting suicide again.
Well, personally, I can feel when I get myself into that. I can feel it. Like it. I don't even know how to explain it. But the last time that it happened, I called my friends, the psychologist, and I told her. I said, it's not right. And I didn't want to talk to my mom and them because they'll worry and they think they can fix everything and their big thing is come home.
Right.
And I really was determined to make sure that I was gonna be successful. But I knew that I didn't have the tools to make myself right. And I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
And not having insurance and damn near being unemployed and then trying to figure that out and then not having real I don't want to be crazy, but not having friends that I felt that I was safe around to talk about that stuff too. It just was like hard. Like it was.
They wouldn't understand.
Yeah, and so what I did was I talked to her, and then one time, which I tried to call that hotline. That hotline is a mess. So it's versus like 800 numbers, and so it's like 1-888, and you gotta look it up. And, it makes you go crazy. It makes you kill yourself trying to call it. So, but now it's supposed to go to a 3-digit number. But yeah, I know now, and I think the medication
well, I know the medication keeps me from being there, and then I have to stay away from narcissistic people because for some reason, I attract them as a friend. I do. It's very weird, and something I'm trying to fix. But I attract narcissistic friends as well as people I date, and that is not a good thing when I'm depressed because I can't talk to
It's all
myself
about
and they
them.
don't care.
It's all about them.
And maybe they care, but they don't know how to.
You don't know how to.
They don't know how. I don't want to be dismissive to them. They care, but they don't know how to
Correct.
be there for you.
And you don't have the patience to teach them.
Yeah, I'm
They got the
Patience
patience.
is
They got the patience.
Patience this
They
thing.
don't need
You're
it.
teaching them to help
You have to
It's-
teach them how to do this.
Yeah,
It's hard to teach
then it
somebody
becomes a
how to
whole
do
other
something.
scenario.
If you need help, Kingwood Pines will help you.
So
What's
what?
the name of it?
Kingwood Pines.
Okay.
Yes. They will help.
That's up north.
It's
It's here in
Woodlands.
Woodlands area.
The Woodlands.
Okay. That's good. We'll put a link in there
Oh,
in our
yeah.
description. What advice would you give? Do you have for people who have had these thoughts? And what advice would you have for anyone?
Just reach out. Don't be afraid to talk, even when you think about listening. Just say it.
I think, like what you said, reach out, use the hotline. There's resources for you, and find that one friend that you can confide in to. You know,
I would definitely say continue to keep an open mind when it comes to mental health because it's no particular thing, no way that it looks like. I think that people do give signs of things that are wrong. Not just be waiting by the door, like Trey said, thinking that something's going to happen, but people give you indicators that something's wrong and then reach out, ask questions. It might be a very uncomfortable conversation, but because you care, you're going to ask. And then, of course, therapists, counselors, psychiatrists, people that you know that will assist and take you out of the space that you're in and to get to a healthy mindset.
Because we know our friends. You know when you're around
Yeah.
somebody for so long, you know when
Oh,
something is
And
not
another
right.
thing, eliminate negativity from your life. And sometimes
man.
it might be your family, it might be your
Yes.
friends. I mean, just
Yeah.
things that trigger you into places where
That
you
you
just
don't
don't
wanna
want to be. Like I have no desire
It's
to feel
okay.
like that. And yeah, that's it.
Trey.
I just say communication, start the conversation. Like always, there should be one person that you can always talk to no matter what, and just always let somebody know. Let somebody know that you're feeling that way. Because sometimes we paint our picture to look better than what it is, and so people don't know that something's wrong until you get home. I know I
It's
did.
hard to keep up with too. It's
It's a facade.
It's watercolor.
Yeah.
This is not water.
With black people, we always are taught never let nobody know how your house is going to end.
Oh yeah, don't tell them about your household.
So
Your refrigerator.
have that one person that you just you can tell how it is.
I agree.
How it really
I
is.
agree.
But like I said, you paint a picture with watercolors, and then if you spill some water on the colors, along the water,
Mixed up.
because it looked like one thing, but then it's really not what it is. It's a lot of people. That's a lot of people in the gay community
Going through a lot of
we're
shit.
going through a lot of mental things, and you might see, hey, it's Sunday fun day. You see them out having a good time,
But
but
like that
but-
good time, man. You
but
can-
they're
they have an
coping,
issue.
yeah.
But that's how they cope. That's how they cope. But yeah, it's a lot. It's
Liquor.
a lot.
Liquor was my mechanism for
But that's not what you want to tell people.
No.
In general, I'm like, that was my go-to, but then I realized that, damn, the liquor wasn't doing nothing for me. It had made me have a good time for a few hours. Then I would go back home and close the door, and it was like the same shit that you left was there.
I think the liquor made me angry.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people here thought I was like an angry person, and that's when I was really going through it here. And every time I drank, I was trying to like stop, but it made me angry. And remember,
You know
when we
what?
went to-
I know that. Think about it. Those are your triggers. Like if you've been drinking,
Yeah.
and somebody say something you don't like, Curtis, like Curtis, that
here in Houston,
That
everybody,
would
a
trigger.
lot of people thought I was an angry person. And I think when you went to Atlanta with me one time, I still remember this. You went to Atlanta and you went to visit my sister with me in Tennessee, and we drove down to Atlanta.
Mhm.
And you were like, "You're so much happier here.
I did notice
You
the
was
difference.
like, "You're different here than you
Totally
are
different.
in Houston."
You were, brotherly, you were having a good time, but I was like, I believe this woman.
Hey, it's a transition. But I can do that to you though.
But I do realize that.
That's why I try to pull back from drinking a lot. I have friends that want to drink.
It sends you to a different place.
Yeah, at that time it was like I like drinking, but at that time
You were going through
it
stuff.
was making
It changed your behavior.
I felt like,
And you didn't like the person.
I didn't realize it was a. I didn't realize I was that person, but I realized afterwards when I would talk to people later, people would say, like, I think me and Trey had a couple of the conversations afterwards, and I didn't realize that I was being offensive or doing something or being angry towards
Because it's in the moment.
Yeah, and it wasn't a focus. It wasn't a focus. It wasn't intentional. But I do feel like it was after effects of.
At least you can
what you
recognize
was going
it.
through.
Well, they said
Some people just be acting like they don't know what's going on.
I think the biggest thing for me, what I would tell somebody to keep people from having the thoughts is, I honestly still haven't. After my grandmother and them passed, my pastor, finding a safe space was hard, and I just have a problem just trusting.
Correct.
So, and I'm quite sure there's other people out there. I would say just go to like the Hope Foundation or like a gay resource center for gay, since this is a gay, and talk, because there were people there, and it was easier for me to talk to somebody I did not know.
Correct.
And they still to this day know way, like I said some stuff here, but they know way more. They're probably like, this nigga's crazy. But
No, they're probably used to it.
yeah, they probably are. They deal with it every day. But definitely the whole foundation was like the savior for me. Like here in Houston, that center for assistance.
Just use your resources. It's there for you. It's free.
I didn't have insurance. I didn't have anybody to talk to, which was scary. It helped me. And so, like, if you don't have somebody in a safe space that you can trust, because everybody doesn't have that, go to a place where nobody knows your name.
That's the peak. Thank you, Trey, Les, and Ivory for joining us on this episode about depression and suicide. Also, remember, take 2 seconds to like, subscribe on our link below. And also, remember to share this discussion with your family. And every Monday at between 7:30 and 8 p.m., we do a Facebook Live. And we want to hear your peak. And that's the peak.
Thank you.